So when I was on the live a little bit ago, one of the comments I was trying to answer before I hopped off was, do I regret getting my Tahoe? So to continue answering that, I regret where I purchased my Tahoe from, because those individuals, the salesperson who sold it to us was extremely good at his job. He was very friendly. The service department at this place, absolutely garbage, should probably not be around anyone's vehicle. The first thing we had to take it in for was the headlight. I noticed that my right headlight was rubbing the bumper, so it was rubbing the paint off of the bumper. And mind you, we got it brand new off the truck, and you know, it was kind of, I'm like, the paint's being scratched off right here. So when we took it in, we told them, we were very upfront with them. Probably it was a week after we purchased the truck, we took it to get a protective wrap put on it, as well as getting the windows tinted. So they, you know, we told them up front, hey, we got this protective wrap put on. Here's the receipt showing how much we paid for it. Okay. So I relocated myself. But anyways, so they first tried to tell us that the reason that the headlight was rubbing the paint off of the bumper on the right side was because we had a protective wrap put on, and they must have done something wrong when they disassembled the car and put the wrap on and then put it back together. And I'm like, that is an impossibility, because they never took anything off the vehicle. The wrap went on, and they're like, no, I don't think you know how it was done. I was like, I literally have pictures, because whenever my vehicle is out of my sight, like the place that we took it to get the wrap put on, we had a very long history with them. And I asked them, I said, hey, can you send me a picture of my vehicle? I want to see how things are going. So they sent me multiple pictures. So I had pictures showing that they never took anything off the vehicle to put the wrap on. And, you know, so I showed that to them. Like, they didn't take anything off of it to put the wrap on. Like, they don't have to disassemble the car to put a wrap on. It said that I must have hit something or done something to the vehicle. Mind you, the vehicle's maybe a month old at this point. I must have done something to it to cause that. And so we took it in, we dropped it off, and the vehicle sat there, did not move for a good week. And when I kept calling them to be like, hey, is there any progress on it? And they're like, oh yeah, the technician looked at it. We're going to have to send it over to a body shop because it's a body shop issue. And I'm like, I don't understand. And I'm like, when did they look at it? Because I can see that the vehicle has never moved from the spot that it was in. And they tried to tell me that the technician went out to look at it. And I said, you're going to tell me that your technician went out in over 105-degree direct sunlight weather and disassembled the front of my vehicle to see what was wrong with the headlight. So as soon as I said that, it wasn't 10 minutes later, I looked at the tracking on my phone and I saw that my vehicle had finally been moved. And then they called me back and they're like, hey, it was just 2 loose screws in the headlight assembly. We put it back in. So it's, you know, it's fixed now, so you can come get your car. So I was like, all right. So when I went in there, I was, of course, annoyed, because if they would have actually looked at it to begin with, I wouldn't have had to not have my car for over a week. So I went in there, and first of all, the individual who was the technician on it is highly incompetent. But I asked him, you know, he swore up and down it was the wrap, which even when I showed him pictures, he was like, no, I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, are you guys going to fix that right there? Because you could see where the paint was rubbed off. And he's like, it's a vehicle. It's not going to be perfect. I'm like, I just bought it. And I was like, I'm pretty sure the person who just bought the Corvette sitting in the showroom, I'm pretty sure they would also be equally as annoyed if their vehicle already had paint missing from it. And he tried to tell me that he's bought vehicles that are like over $100,000 vehicles, and he doesn't expect them to be perfect. And I'm like, highly doubt if you're buying a vehicle that's over $100,000 that you're going to accept it if paint is missing off of it. So he tried to pretend like he didn't see it. So of course I started, you know, kind of getting like an annoyed tone with him, but it was very like, I know you see this right here, and I know you know this is not okay. So then I asked them, there's like a seal that goes around like that part of the headlight, and it looked kind of ate up from where it was rubbing on the bumper for, you know, however long it was rubbing on the bumper. And the other one wasn't like that. When I asked the guy, like, hey, is this seal a crucial thing? Like, is it crucial, or is it just like a little buffer between the bumper and like the, I guess, plastic on the headlight? And he's like, I don't know what that is. And I'm like, how can you work on these cars, but you don't know what this is? Like, you don't know if it's a crucial component. You don't know. And he's like, I'm not going to deal with this. I'm not going to answer you anymore. I've been doing this for 30 years. And I'm like, well, if you've been doing it for 30 years, you should know what this piece is and you should know whether or not it's crucial. But anyways, so I told them, I said, do not have that man near my vehicle ever again. Fast forward, so we had to bring it back because the thing I was talking about before I had to cut the live was I had to steer it right or it would go left originally. So we took it in. They said they fixed it, which originally when you drive into the service department, there's like these things that you drive over that flash underneath your car to, I guess, check the alignment. And at first they're like, oh no, the alignment's good. And I'm like, so why? Like, I was sending them video. I'm like, so why is it like, if I don't steer it this way, it goes the opposite way? And it wasn't like a subtle thing. It was a very noticeable like drift that was doing. And the service manager, he's like, they shouldn't have went off of that because the vehicle is so new that those pictures that they take is of the tread on the tires. And he's like, you wouldn't be able to know if the alignment was good from that because the tires are too new. And when they put it on the thing, they said they adjusted it, they got the numbers right, and they gave it back. But then we messaged them the day later and we're like, it's now going the opposite way. Like, now it's the same problem but opposite direction. And they just kept saying, like, I must have done something to it. There's nothing wrong with it. We took it back in. And they're like, oh, we had, two of our technicians drive it. And I'm like, well, I could see that they drove it because, I tracked my car. And, he was like, oh, neither of them saw any issue with it. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And he was trying to tell me, this man, whose name is Clay, he was trying to tell me that if you are holding your steering wheel straight, that the way vehicles are manufactured, if you're steering straight, you should have no expectation of your vehicle going straight. He said it's going to veer. It's going to veer off to the right because they're built like that. They're made to steer off right. And I'm like, that doesn't even make sense. And then he tried to tell me at one point that it was because I had it was the lane keep assist, which would imply that I don't know how to stay in my lane, which I'm like, I don't drive with the lane keep assist on. So it can't be the lane keep assist because I don't have it on. So we're sitting here and I'm like he was really trying to convince us that there was no issue. We were on the phone with him for over 20 minutes and he was just, he showed that he did not care. And at one point he was like, you know what, I've already spent 18 minutes on this conversation. I'm not going to entertain it anymore. And we're like, okay, but it's literally our vehicle that y'all have not fixed. And it's brand new. At that point, it had under 4,000 miles on it. So we called another local dealership and we're like, hey, just hypothetically, this is kind of what we're dealing with. Like, is it normal for a vehicle, if you're driving it straight, to veer off to one side or the other? And they're like, no, if you're steering straight, it should go straight. So we took it over to this other dealership. They immediately saw the problem before we even stepped out of the vehicle. And they ended up fixing it, and it was a super easy fix. All it was when the people at Chevyland adjusted the alignment, they never adjusted the toe along with the alignment. So they did basically half the alignment. The other people at the other Chevy dealership, they adjusted the toe, haven't had a problem since. So that was probably my biggest regret with that, is the dealership in which I got it from and that I tried to take it back to get it serviced when, small issues were kind of popping up. They had no idea what they were talking about. They didn't know what they were doing, and they half did their jobs. And on top of that, they took my vehicle to another, a third party alignment place that they didn't tell me about, because they said they were going to call and update us on what was going on with the vehicle. They never did that. They drove it into another city without my knowledge, and had I not had tracking on my vehicle, I wouldn't have known about it. When I went to go pick up my vehicle, because I'm like, I don't want someone else touching my vehicle because you didn't tell me about this. I didn't okay this, whatever. When I went to go pick it up, those people were extremely rude to me, because I'm like, hey, I called them up and I was like, hey, I'm the black Tahoe that's sitting out front, that's mine, kind of what's going on with it. And they were rude to me there. When I went to go pick it up, they basically they threw the keys at me. And I was like, okay, well, have a good day. And I walked out. And when I got inside my vehicle, the individual who drove my vehicle from Chevyland to this third-party place, they had the music blasting in my car, and I'm like, and they tanked the gas mileage. But I'm like, how dare you get into someone else's vehicle that is not yours, and you're sitting there driving around, music all loud, as if it is yours. Like, if I'm blasting my own music, that's my business. I pay for it. You don't pay for it. You don't sit in my car and act like it's yours and sitting there like driving around. Like, no, we don't do that. It's unprofessional. But the things that I love about my Tahoe, because like I said, the only thing bad about it was the place that I got it from. But the things I love about it is when it's cold out, I don't have to remember to turn my heated seats on or my heated steering wheel on or anything, because it's like it knows when it's cold. Because once it's like drops below a certain temperature, when you turn the vehicle on, it automatically turns on the steering wheel heater. It automatically turns on the heat seaters, or the seat heaters. Yeah, the seat heaters. It automatically turns like all that stuff on, which is super awesome. I love all the features that it has. It's really, really nice. And the gas mileage is actually not that bad because the tank is bigger. We're actually able to drive all the way to like the parts of Texas that we go to. We're able to drive there on one tank. So that's super awesome. I actually don't fill up that much. I don't drive that much, but it does pretty decent on gas compared to the vehicle that I used to have. But yeah, no, if you guys want to see kind of like, I guess like a tour of my Tahoe, I can kind of show you guys like the features it has and stuff like that. It's really, really nice. I do like it, and I'm so happy that my husband bought it for me. But yeah, so if you guys want to see more of it, I'll show you guys if you want to. But yeah, that's kind of answering that question of my biggest regret with my Tahoe.